Hi, I'm joined by Inez Ward of Justice for Licensees, who's organised the protest today. Inez, can you tell us what the protest is about?
We want all MPs to support the findings and the recommendations of the Beck report, because at the end of the day that's the closest report that's actually hit the nail on the head of what's happening in the tide sector of the industry. In 2004, TISC, the Trade Industry Select Committee, stated that the pubcos had to produce a voluntary code. They failed miserably in that, so we want the government to impose a statutory code on them, and we also want a full and complete investigation by the Competitions Commission.
Inez, where have pubcos got to change then?
Where do you start? They've got to change. The rents are unsustainable, the beer prices are unsustainable, and their business practices are questionable. They've got to look at all areas, and I understand that their debts are a huge problem to them, but that's their problem. It's not the problem of the licensees, and it's not the problems of the consumers, and it certainly shouldn't be the problem of the pubs.
And what do you want MPs to do?
We want the MPs to sit up and take notice. Pubs are a huge part of the history, heritage and culture of Britain. They're the hub of many a community. They need to be here. And the MPs need to start to listen and take notice of what's happening in the industry.
And finally, what's your message to any tenants out there that are struggling?
That's a hard one. What can you say to them other than empathise with what they're going through? All I can say is they're not alone. They are far from alone. There are thousands of tenants who are struggling, who need help. And the pubcos have to sooner or later start helping these tenants, because their business model is built on the backs of these people. And if they keep breaking their backs, it's their business model going down the drain.
They've got to listen to people. They can't just keep listening to everybody who might have a chain of pubs or whatever. You can't have this amount of bad licensees. There's got to be good ones amongst them. Therefore, they should be looking at what is going wrong. And the obvious thing is there's three main problems now. Culture has changed. People don't go to pubs, but also anybody with any sense would also know that it is about the price that people are having to charge for the products. And until they sit down with licensees, and obviously licensees are having to cut their margins to get the people in a falling market, and I think the pubcos also cannot continue charging their tied licensees in some cases double what they could get these products elsewhere. I need to bring together the tied licensees towards free of tie licensees, so there is not this massive disparity between the two operating companies.
What reforms of the pubco system would you like to see?
Well, I think for the pubcos, what I'd like to see is a relaxation of the tie. I'm not saying that we need complete removal of it, but maybe more realistic list prices, maybe some discounts passed on. We need a reduction of our costs, and the only way we can get that really is on the price of the beer. I'll accept that my rent will stay the same. I'll accept that that's, they'll probably get the rent for the site, but we need to be able to give the opportunity to make a profit.
Great, thank you very much, Russ.
Okay, thank you.